Hey there, this is Truth Wins Every Time. I want to bring to you a video here and discuss the fact that Dave is a Satanist and he jokes about being possessed by Satan. Now, here's the thing: Dave has played Satan in a Tenacious D movie before, and he really just seems to be fascinated with that whole aspect. Now, here's the thing. They're on Jimmy Kimmel talking about this new movie they released a little while back called Studio 666, which is about Dave ultimately becoming possessed by Satan and killing off the members of his band to become a solo artist, which, you know, um, I think Dave has been killing off people for quite some time. There's speculation that he was involved in Kurt's death and that it was him and Courtney that played a part in it. So I'm not saying that's 100% fact, but there is a lot of negativity surrounding Dave Grohl, despite his, cool and nice persona that he projects when, on public or in TV and stuff like that. Another thing, too, Taylor Hawkins, the drummer, just passed away recently. And the band knew that Taylor had an enlarged heart. And that was, everybody knew that Taylor had an issue with his heart. Apparently, his heart was twice the size of what it should normally be. Then you also get the toxicology report that he had 10 drugs in his system. If these 5 members were truly friends and wanted to look out for Taylor, they wouldn't have let him do those drugs. So they're not really friends. And, you're going to say, oh, well, Taylor can do whatever he wants. Well, that's true. But if these guys truly cared for him and Dave professes to be in love with this guy, Taylor, if that's the case, Dave would not have allowed Taylor to take the drugs, knowing that it could spell disaster, which it did. And so, I'm not sure if this is God smiting the band and Dave, or if it's Satan coming to collect his dues from Dave and he's starting with Taylor. But I'm telling you, I think there's going to be some more negativity surrounding this band as the weeks go on. You don't glorify Satan in a movie without having to come back and bite you in the ass. So let's go ahead and listen to this clip where Dave is asked by Jimmy, how do you have the time to do all this? The band, the movie, yada, yada, yada. Dave says at first that he doesn't get any sleep, but then he jokingly says that he's possessed by Satan. And we know all about jokes. Jokes all have a kernel of truth in them. Let's take a listen.
Even know where you're finding the time to do all this stuff.
I don't know.
Sleep.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
Yeah, is that what it is?
I'm also possessed by Satan.
And
so
of
that
course
has
you
to-
have that whole. Yeah, is that what it is?
I'm also possessed by Satan.
And
so
of
that-
course.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
Yeah, is that what it is?
I'm also possessed by Satan.
And of-
so-
There you go. He says it right there. And you can see on his neck right there that he's wearing a cross. Just because somebody wears a cross doesn't make him a Christian. And if anything, that's something I also want to say. We're not supposed to worship or adore Jesus. Jesus was a human being. It was God in the flesh, but God explicitly states we are not to worship another human being or a false idol. And so if you worship Jesus, you're worshiping a graven image, especially with Jesus on the cross. Jesus is a shepherd. Jesus is the Son of God, and Jesus was sent to bring us back to the Father. A shepherd leads his sheep back. That's what we are supposed to be doing, is following Jesus Christ, not worshiping him. So, but back to this matter, all kinds of Satanists adorn themselves with Christian relics and ideology. So is this, again, is this God smiting the band, or is this Satan coming to collect his dues? Could be either or. But just know that if you glorify Satan at any level, that it will come back to get you. The Father wants us to acknowledge him. That's how we are saved. We are saved by acknowledging that Jesus brought us back to the Father. And that's why that's the only way back to the Father. That's why these other religions like Buddhism and the monks and any other religion, none of them have a pathway back to God. The only way back to God is by following Jesus. I don't even think the Catholic Church is following Jesus. I believe that the Catholic Church has become corrupt. I do believe that Satan has infiltrated the Catholic Church. And I fell away from the Catholic Church many, many years ago after I had studied to be a Catholic priest in my high school years. I went to a high school that prepped young men for the seminary. And something happened in my life at that point that made me realize that the Catholic Church is corrupt and evil. And that was piggybacked on top of a time where there was a lot of movement in the church with priests being ushered from one parish to the other because certain priests were being called out for their gross and lewd behavior with children. And instead of actually doing something about it, the Catholic Church just swept it under the rug and would move them to another parish. So all I can say is that you need to be grateful that you're alive. You need to be grateful that you have what you have. You should thank God every day for even breathing. And I every day, my son and I pray, and we thank God for the good things that we have in our life, what little or large it may be. And we also pray that the people in our lives that we care about are protected and that they finally end up seeing the light and seeing that you do need to follow Jesus. And it's not about going to church every Sunday at a Catholic church or, any kind of Christian church. So be well. Thank God for what you have. Be grateful. And until I come with more on this, stay safe.